Yes.
And when we get those results, we as a Kenyan community in the diaspora, we can look at ourselves and say, okay, here we are. Where are we lacking, and how can we find information that will help us come up? Because one of the things I have said is that we are a community that likes to support each other.
So the survey you want to do is a survey
it's already ongoing.
It's already ongoing.
Yes, it is.
So the survey that we will send to you guys, that please, you have to fill up. Let's not just fill surveys for other people out there. And then comes our brothers and sisters, and because we are so familiar to each other, sitajaza ya, ni Beatrice, kwani iko nini. Let's not do that. Let's fill her survey. The same way you'll fill another survey from a big company, you know? And let's make this work for her.
Yes.
Because she's helping us. Actually, I might benefit from this.
No.
Yeah, so Tony Robbins has been an influencer of mine since Kenya. Actually, he's the guy who landed me here. He's the guy who landed me in all this trouble of doing what I believe.
What your heart is.
And actually,
honestly, if I wasn't listening to, I started listening to the people that he interviews.
Yes.
And I started listening to John Maxwell. If I wasn't listening to those two people, I wouldn't be doing this. Because when this idea came, my first thought was like, no, I can't do that. Who will agree to support me and do a survey? Who is Beatrice Agingu?
But
I'm like, well, I am not shrinking back. I'm gonna do this. Yes.
Actually, people have to fill that survey. If you're watching, actually, it has begun, by the way.
Really?
Yes. So that's how natural it goes.
Please edit that part.
No, actually, what part?
I wasn't. Anyway,
I think you're good. We began with a survey. We want people to fill that survey. You'll tell us more about it, you know?
Yes.
Well, before she does what she's here to do, let her tell us about Beatrice Agingu, you know? You have a beautiful name like my mom, Beatrice.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yes, my mom is Beatrice. And that name is beautiful as can be. So, yes, welcome to another episode. Actually, it's special because this channel just switched to become a business channel.
Okay.
It used to be called Mr. Sam, the Creative Channel.
Yes.
Now it's called Banana Land Media.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's a media company now. Okay. And I named it Banana Land, you know, Kenya and Uganda. A lot of bananas. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, and your hubby is right there. It looks like he's always on your side.
He is on my side. He's my greatest supporter.
Good support system?
He is. I have a very good support system.
What a wonderful thing to hear that we have men who support their women.
Yes.
In all ways, even in things like this.
Yes.
Wow. So who is Beatrice Agingu? Tell me from back then.
From way back then?
Yeah.
Yes, that's always a difficult question to answer when you are asked by someone asks you specifically. But what I can say, I was born in Kenya, raised in Kenya, went to college in Kenya. I'm a graduate of Kenyatta University.
Wow.
Proud graduate of KU.
Wow.
Yes.
What?
Way back then.
Oh, wow.
I taught in Kenya for 1 year in high school.
Wow.
And then I left Kenya way back in the early 90s, actually.
You even taught in Kenya?
I did. I taught in Kenya. And I came here to the United States and changed my career a little bit. I worked in libraries.
So in Kenya you did teaching?
Yes, I was teaching high school.
Okay.
And then I came here to do graduate school.
Okay.
I attended the University of Arizona in Tucson.
Okay.
Yes. So I've been around the US for quite a while.
Arizona.
Yes.
Wow. That's a long way.
It's a long way. And you know, you never know where life
takes you. Yes.
So I actually worked in libraries for 10 years, and then I switched back to my teaching profession. So I'm currently teaching.
How was library life?
Very good. I was working in college libraries.
Okay.
I worked in South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I worked at North Carolina Central University.
Wow.
Yeah. For maybe 2 years.
Okay.
Then I decided, this is not for me. I want to go back into the classroom.
Into the classroom, where you have people.
I'm my own boss.
Yes.
Kind of.
Basically, you're your own boss.
Yeah, because once you shut that door, you're the boss.
Very true.
Yes.
You're the boss. Actually, I love the college system and high school systems here.
Yeah.
It looks like the teacher really is the one who is a pilot to the class in a way.
Yeah, for the most part, once you know the curriculum is given to you, it's really up to you to look for the resources that are appropriate for your students, do an appropriate assessments, determine what is working, what's not working. So if you are able to do that, and also here in the everywhere these days, the most important thing is communication. So
how did you I've known you for many years, and actually with Agingu too.
Yes.
And then you are actually a very young, newly kind of couple.
Yes.
That we used to look up to. You guys were the leaders, the youth leaders.
Yes.
And we were the youth, I remember.
Yeah, you were the youth.
Yes.
Yes.
And at that time, you know, I've seen so much hardship in between, such that I've realized a lot of us from that era are, we are graduated, you know, but most of us are not so much settled, married with kids.
Yes.
Like you guys are. What's the difference between the guys who are ahead of us, and is it that we lacked some guidance, or what is it? Because you settled well as an international student, right?
Yes.
Same hardships that we had to go through.
Yes.
But us guys kind of fell over and decided, this is hard. How did you really go through all this? And
I think the most important thing for me is focus.
Yeah.
You have to know what you want, and you have to persevere.
Yeah.
And actually do it. And also for me, I'm a woman of faith.
Yeah.
And so I believe that trusting God to give me that guidance and believing that this is the path that God has set for me and just sticking to it has helped me, because I think I don't know much about other people, but I think what confuses people is lack of focus.
Yeah, because the way we saw your life was a life that was very progressive.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, they were done with school suddenly with Mr. Agingu, and they have a kid.
Yeah.
And you know, things were moving. Then you bought a house. Then you guys moved, and we are like, you're inviting us to your house, and we are like, wow. I think you guys gave us a good example, only maybe it didn't sink in us so well, maybe, I don't know. But
I don't know that it's a bad thing, what the people coming from behind us are doing. Life has just changed. We were the traditionalists that had to follow a certain way. But you see, for example, like yourself, what you've been telling me, you didn't have to go into a straight up career.
Yes.
You know, and also with the internet coming, GPS coming, so you guys, younger generation than us, you have more opportunities to say, you know what, why should I be in a classroom stuck? Why should I be stuck in a job I don't like? I can do my own thing. I can be a YouTuber. I can do 3 different.
The internet came too.
Yes, so that's it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Not
it's just different.
Yes.
It's just different.
It's kind of different.
Yes,
because it's like we kind of switch things around, and you're like, wow. But you know what? I still admire this way.
You think so?
Yes, I still admire it. If it's maintained.
Yes.
Because a lot of couples today, almost 60 to 80% of the couples I knew them.
Yeah.
I knew then.
Yes.
Are already separated.
Yes.
You know, so you guys maintaining up to today.
By God's grace.
Yeah.
It is by God's grace.
Yeah, I come here, same house, beautiful place, and still a couple, and the place looks great, you know, and now you're telling me about new ventures.
Yeah.
You know, that's something to be very well admired. And I think more people out there need to listen to you, especially younger adults, not the youth necessarily, but even adults, you know? Yeah.
I think for, like I said, you know, there's every generation is slightly different.
Yes.
So there's, you know, something to be learned from us, and we also have a lot to learn from the younger people that are coming up. So we are all in one journey. There's no perfect way.
Yes.
And also, you know, when you meet someone once in a while, you think, oh yeah, they're all nice and put together, but there's struggles.
The struggles are there.
Everybody has struggles.
Everyone has struggles.
Yeah, it's just what you decide to do with the struggle.
Yes,
when it hits you is what's important. But you know, as the Bible says, in this life, you are going to face tribulations.
Very
but
true.
when they come, what do you decide that, you know, they're going to finish you, or you are going to learn something from it and say, you know what, I'm getting up again. I'm fighting.
What we do about it is what matters.
That is what matters.
Wow. Well, to tell you the truth, I really admire that you guys have stood.
Yes.
And you've really advanced. So, you came here and you graduated, and then you got a job.
Yes.
Tell me some of the hardships that you had to go through.
Well, I don't know where to begin. First of all, as an international student, without a scholarship, we basically lived at work.
Oh, you didn't have a scholarship?
Oh, no, I did not have a scholarship.
Oh, my.
And I wasn't eligible for any. And I thought that that was bad for me. But when I graduated with no student loans, and, you know, people ask you, okay, so what debt do you have? Do you have any student loans? And you say, no. I wasn't eligible for student loans. But which was a blessing, right? Yeah, kinda. It turned out to be a blessing. But when you were going through it, it was tough, because if you got 2 hours of sleep per night, you were doing good. And we did not like holidays. We didn't like Thanksgiving, and because you didn't work. I worked on campus, and like, why is the library closed? I'm not gonna get the money.
The money. Yes.
So that was difficult. And then just transitioning, the culture shock. You know, when you still first come here. And then you know, trying to apply for change your immigration status.
Actually having to go the right way. Because most of us went the shortcut ways.
So and hanging in there in my job. But I think for me, I think the most difficult part was just transitioning from one type of job to another. When I realized, because like I said before, I was working in libraries. I worked in libraries for quite a while, and then I decided I really do need to go back to the classroom. And you know, the last classroom, real classroom that I had been was back in Kenya. And the students here were a totally different ballgame.
Wow.
Very different. So that, I think, was one of the most challenging things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. If I was to transplant you in Kenya, I think I'll make you some minister of education somewhere.
Why?
You've had the whole...
I've experienced...
a very big...
a wide range.
A wide range.
Yes, I've really been in I just call myself an educator, because I've taught high school. Actually, when I worked in libraries, I did teach some college classes there. So I've taught, you know, some college, you know. And then now I'm in the K-12, and it's taken me a while, but I actually totally enjoy it.
You enjoy it?
Yes.
So, now, how did we get into things like finance, and now the topic today about you know, retirement, you know, and you know, creating a a retirement deal, you know, for
survey.
yourself.
Okay.
You know, and the survey that you're about to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did we get here?
So back then, I think it was in the like around 2004-ish, 2006. Actually, we came across Dave Ramsey, and we needed
Dave Ramsey.
Yes, we needed Dave Ramsey. Oh my goodness.
The one and only.
Yeah. Yes, I know a lot of people who know me are not going to be surprised because there's no way you can ask me about finances and I don't mention his name.
Okay.
Because we were not in a very good place. And when we found out what we were doing wrong, it took a lot. And that's why I'm a very big proponent now of self-awareness and looking at yourself first before you tackle the problem. Because that's the first thing. If you are going to pay debt, you have to write down how much do you owe.
How much do you owe?
And we did, and it was not a small figure.
Once you write it down.
It's a very scary place.
Yes.
And also doing that as a couple really makes you look at each other and say, you know what, if we go through this and survive, we can survive anything.
We can survive anything.
So that was an eye-opener for us. We paid our big debt off. Actually, in about 18 months, we were done.
What?
We were following the steps, but it was tough. We did the rice and beans and rice, literally.
Okay.
And then after that, when we paid, then we are like, we have so much money, and we saved because the next step
6 months.
It wasn't 6, it was 3.
3
but
months.
We did not understand back then what that meant. We were like, we are going to Kenya, so we spent the.
You spent the money.
Yeah, we spent it.
Oh, it's a step by step. Do you know? We mentioned Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
At one point he told me in the book to write all my goals.
Yes.
And some of the goals were ridiculously big.
Yeah.
And you know, I came to break the rules again and again and kept on reading and reading, and until someday it just came in.
Yes.
Yeah, so sometimes it just doesn't come in.
It does not. It was not a one-time thing because we were still much younger. And so we went to Kenya, we went to visit family in Britain, South Africa. And then we came back and started again to do that.
Oh, you went on a real tour.
But we didn't.
But that was good,
But
though.
it was cash.
But that was good. Some people do that and they come back with debt.
So we did not have any credit cards. We can cut all our credit cards. But then we started kind of doing it, fell off the wagon and started doing Dave Ramsey-ish for a little bit. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I have an organizer born in me. Okay. I love strategies. I love planning.
That's why you are a librarian.
Yeah. So I love planning. And my mother was my inspiration. She only had a 4th grade level education, but by the time she died, I don't think I have the amount of energy and influence that she did. And so I've always looked up to, I'm saying, if someone could do that with a 4th grade level education, I have a graduate degree. Why am I here?
Why am I here?
And so that inspired us to start being organized and start looking at what are we doing for ourselves? And so once we became, sure of what we were doing and we saw the success. Yes. Also, we have also always been very active in Kenya Christian Fellowship. Okay. And so in our community here, when something good happens to you, you want to educate others. And so we have not necessarily done it formally. It's just like one-on-one, like we are doing now. Yes. When someone tells us they're struggling, we say, do you know about Dave Ramsey? Or even doesn't have to be Dave Ramsey. Do you have a financial plan? And so at one point, I did do a presentation at the Women's Conference some years back. That was just purely about what the financial steps that you should take to become successful, because we are in a different country. We can't run things the same way that we do it back home. Very true. Here, if it's between you and your job, and we work so hard as Kenyans, but sometimes you're working so hard, and where did the money go? Yeah, so where did it go? Where did it go?
I was looking at my account last year. one of my company died last year.
Yeah.
But today, because I had an appointment with a taxman, I looked at my account and I'm like, oh,
that's how much.
That's a lot of money. And I'm like, where is it?
Where is it? So yes, that's why that planning is very, very important.
Yes.
So because of that, an opportunity came because we are planning for Kenya Christian Fellowship. We are planning the annual. It's called the annual National Ladies Conference.
Okay.
And so we usually talk about what kind of workshops we are supposed to do.
Yes.
And right now, empowerment is really the push. We need to be empowered as a community.
Yes.
We need to empower. We women, we need to be empowered to thrive, so that all this hard work that we are doing just doesn't go through our fingers.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, I always ask myself, what difference will it be that I came to the United States?
Yes. Wow.
Am I just going to go back home and, I'm here pinching pennies just like my high school friend that I left there? Will it make any difference that I came here? And it's not just a financial difference.
And actually, sometimes our high school friends were doing great. They are doing great.
Yeah, they are doing so much better. They are doing very well, some of them in Kenya.
Yes.
And so I started, this age, when you reach a certain age, you start looking back.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do with my God-given abilities? Am I doing anything with them?
Yes. Am I going to empty myself?
Yes. So that
like
is where
Miles
this
Monroe
whole
tells
thing
us.
is coming from. And so the opportunity came again. One of the workshop topics was retirement crisis. Because there are those who believe that we Kenyans in the diaspora, actually, we don't think about retirement. We work so hard that we forget that one day we will be in a place where we can't work.
Wow.
And then some of us have children, but we don't expect it's not like the traditional way where your children are going to take care of you.
Yes.
And then some of us,
the days of children taking care of you, I think they're kind of gone.
Those are gone.
Us guys will take care of our parents for sure.
Yeah.
But that tradition is fading out.
Yeah, it's a step-by-step process. So it's all about, I'm an educator. So when I learn something, I want to share it.
Yes.
And I'm also a leader in the community as a director right now in the Department of Women. And I'm like, well, it's my responsibility to find things that are going to help us grow.
Yeah, because the way I love the question you've really raised. Am I going to be just like, how can I just come 10,000 miles to study here and live here, whereas we have home?
Yeah.
What difference should I make? Yeah.
And so when you look at the topic of retirement, we are not just talking about retirement.
Okay.
We are talking about our whole selves, because you don't suddenly get to be 60 years old and go, retirement.
Yeah.
You need to have started, if you started thinking about it at the age of 25, by the time you are 60, you are like, hey. And one of the things I learned from Dave Ramsey was, it doesn't matter your level of education.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you make. If you save 15% of your income, you are going to make it. It doesn't matter at what level.
Yes.
So,
and does it matter at what age?
The earlier you start,
the better. The
better, because of the power of compound interest. And also, when we talk about retirement, we just don't talk about the financial aspects.
Okay.
There are so many other things that people don't even think about. Some of us, left Kenya many years ago when we were young, and we think it's the same bed of roses we left when we came. And so you're just like, so what are you going to do when you retire? Of course, I'm going back to Kenya.
Yes.
Okay, how often have you gone? What have you done to prepare yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so there's the cultural aspect of it. There's the emotional aspect of retirement.
Yes.
I've talked to some people who retired and they're like, I did not know I was going to be depressed.
Oh.
Because some of us who haven't retired, we're just like, I can't wait to retire.
So, tell someone like me who is approaching 40.
Yeah.
And maybe, us guys who are raised, nunueni plot, buy plots.
Yes.
And some of us, that's the only thing we have, you know, plots. That I actually tried to sell one during COVID.
Yes.
And there was no buyer because it was too expensive.
Yes.
And I was left without money. And I'm like, wow, these plots that we are being told buy, are they going to be even beneficial to us? Are they going to translate to something we call retirement? So that's why I'm actually really wanting you to tell us how can someone like me, who is actually a businessman?
Yes.
I don't have 401k. I just put all my chips in. One morning I woke up and decided I'm doing what I do today.
Yes.
I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I'm in media. And I live life in my own terms. And then I read books. Put 100 in S&P 500 companies.
Yeah.
But we keep on reading it, and time goes by, and we save money, and then we blow it up with something.
Yes.
Or things come up. What do you tell?
So for me, I don't think it matters whether you are self-employed or someone has hired you. The key is to have a plan. Because as the adage says, if you don't plan, you're just planning, but you're planning to fail. So it doesn't matter whether whatever level of life you have, whether you have a low-paying job, a medium-paying job, a high-paying job. There are a lot of, I like listening to Dave Ramsey, of course, and he talks about how there are a lot of broke doctors. People who make 6 figures.
I hear.
Because you don't have a plan. So the key is the plan. You asked about buying the plots. A plot is an investment, yes, but it's like real estate.
Yes.
It's location.
Yes.
Where is your plot, and are you at that level in your journey, financial journey, to afford it?
And can you even, if you needed liquid money, can you translate it?
How did you buy the plot? Did you take a loan?
Did you put it in someone's name because you're here?
Yeah. So if you took a loan, are you seeing a return on your investment?
Okay.
And if you bought it somewhere, is it something you can sell for a profit?
Yeah.
What's the location? So of course the location is important, but secondly, how you purchased it, according to what I have read with finances, is important, because if you took a huge loan to buy that plot, and a lot of us also from Kenya, we don't even calculate the interest.
And some of the loans are from Shylock.
Yeah. So you are asking the person, I took this loan, what's the interest? I don't even know. I have a relative who I'm not going to mention because they might watch this. And they had taken a loan, and I was asking them, what's the interest rate? They had no idea. Do you know this was like at 36%? Yeah, because of the way they were being reckless.
By the time they were done with the loan,
they were not in a good place, financially. Wow. So someone had just ripped them off. Totally. And they were not even aware, because they were like, interest? I didn't look for the interest.
I know, because they hide it on paperwork.
It's
you don't
very
see
small.
It. Yeah. Oh my God.
So, as we talk about this, and that's why I decided to do this survey, because I feel like if we as a community become self-aware, and we tell people, we look at ourselves, where are we?
Yes.
What percentage of us even know what we are supposed to do?
Yes.
And even as someone is filling out that questionnaire, and the people who have filled it out, they tell me it is very, very thought-provoking. Yeah. Because as you read each one of those questions, you are asking yourself. So it's right there. There is your self-awareness. So people, if you're watching this and you want to fill that survey, first and foremost, it's beneficial for you.
Yes.
Because it's a self-assessment.
Yes.
And then as you do your self-assessment, it will become a community assessment.
Yes.
And when we get those results, we as a Kenyan community in the diaspora, we can look at ourselves and say, here we are. Where are we lacking, and how can we find information that will help us come up? Because one of the things I have said is that we are a community that likes to support each other.
So the survey you want to do is a survey
it's already ongoing.
It's already ongoing.
Yes, it is.
So the survey that we will send to you guys, that please, you have to fill up. Let's not just fill surveys for other people out there. And then comes our brothers and sisters, and because we are so familiar to each other, sitajaza ya ni Beatrice, kwani iko nini. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's fill her survey the same way you'll fill another survey from a big company, you know. And let's make this work for her.
Yes.
Because she's helping us. Actually, I might benefit from this.
Not might, you will.
I will benefit from this.
Yes, you will, because
I'm scared of Dave Ramsey's principles.
Actually, there's no Dave Ramsey principle in that survey. Not a single thing.
Oh, not really?
No.
Okay.
It's just questions, like I said,
and they are good principles anyway.
It's a self-assessment, and some of it has, of course, the financial aspect, and like I mentioned, some of it is the personal.
Yes.
Family, you know, the emotional aspect.
They really get you, and they make you.
So you look at a question, for example, have you considered the emotional aspects of retirement?
So you see, guys, this survey itself, it looks like it's gonna help us. Yeah. Just it will actually make us ask ourselves and think deeper.
It makes you the people who filled it that talk to me, they say, you know, it got me thinking.
Okay.
Yes.
you know,
some you haven't filled it, but you do.
Not yet.
So I think
I will.
You need to, because it's already. It will get you thinking.
I'm scared of it because.
No, don't be scared.
Yeah.
And a lot of the questions are honestly just yes or no questions. But as you read the questions, like, for example, one of the questions on that survey is, do you know how much you will get for your Social Security?
Okay.
Me, as the designer of this survey, my answer was no, because I haven't looked. I looked a few years ago, and I'm like, oh, forget this. But now that I have actually designed it, me myself, I went, you know, I actually don't know the answer to that question. So now what will that make me do? That will make me go look, because this is a survey. It's a self-assessment that if you are a person that's serious about where you are going, whether it's socially or financially, or you are going to get up and say, okay, that's information I need to find. That's something I need to do. So yeah, it's a good self-assessment. It's thought-provoking. It's good for you, and it's not just, and also just because it actually, I have been supported by one or two colleagues who are have their doctorates. So it's very sound as an instrument, a study, but also.
And your husband is Dave Ramsey's ambassador, yeah?
No, he is a financial peace facilitator and coordinator. He coordinates financial peace classes. Wow. And so the good thing with financial peace, because when people hear about Dave Ramsey, they just think of, oh, it's about paying debt. Yes. It's not about paying debt. The reason the debt comes is because you cannot create wealth when you are in debt. You know, you can't.
You can't.
Because what's the purpose of you? Okay, we are talking about a plot. You get a loan. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you are paying 8% on your loan. Or
even maybe people like me, we got them and we paid them off. But then, I just gave you an example. Last year I was in crisis. I tried to sell one. It was not selling.
It was not selling. So it might not sell at the time when you need the money. So
I was rendered useless.
So you know what happens is that you have the investment, but if you don't have a plan for that investment, then it doesn't help you. So having, like, let me go back to saying having that plan. But how do you have a plan when you don't know where you are? Like if you are going on a journey. Okay, I want to go. We are here in Creedmoor, and you say I want to go to Raleigh. In your GPS, you have to put your starting point.
You have to.
So for us as Kenyans, this is the starting point. If you're looking at your finances, if you're looking at your life plan.
Maybe your series should be called Starting Point.
You have to. There's no the GPS has to. You have to tell where you are starting, and also you have to tell it where you are going. So the questions that I have that inspired me to do this is where, now if I'll personalize it, if it's for you, you ask yourself, where am I? where do I want to go?
Yeah.
And how do I get there?
Okay.
One lady asked me, oh, what do you recommend? Do you recommend retiring here or in Kenya? I said, no, I'm not recommending anything. This is for you. You yourself, you ask yourself.
You ask yourself.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I want to retire in Kenya. Okay. Where am I now?
Where am I now, and what should I do?
What should I do to get to my goal? So it's all about your own personal goal.
Yes.
If you decide you are staying here, fine, but where are you?
But where, and what direction then will you take? Because you cannot prepare. Like me, I intend to stay here.
Yes.
But then some of my investments are
in Kenya.
And I don't...
Are you aware that now... I was told I don't have the valid information, but I got it from a very valid source, that if you are a US citizen, they're asking you to declare your investments back there in Kenya.
Yes, and believe me, I had to pay a lump sum a year and a half ago. But this was a little bit more political in our area. Everyone was okay, but myself, because I'm here, I had to pay a lump sum.
And it's vice versa too. Even Kenya, you know, if you have investments, you know, back in Kenya, you pay taxes.
Oh, really?
Yes, you do pay. They want you to pay taxes on those lands that we buy there. But I just wanted to say that to the people who are listening, this survey is not an academic survey for me to go and write a paper and file it in a library. It's to help ourselves, because we are first generation. What legacy are we leaving? For our children that are coming from behind, for the younger generations of Kenyans that may be moving here. And another reason why I wanted us to do this is that once we get the results, I've started looking up information, and I'm finding out that there's organizations that provide community education. And so if you have valid data that says, okay, we as a community we need this literacy, financial literacy, for example, we can get funding to bring people who will speak to us, people who will educate us.
Okay.
Yes.
So say today, actually, is it a link that you'll send out? And the link, can we put a link on on this YouTube video down here?
Yes, we will.
So there is a link down here. You can click and do the survey. So my question is, let's say 2,000 people have filled the survey.
Yes.
And now, what next?
So we are going to analyze the data.
Okay.
Yes. After we analyze the data, on I think it's April the 4th. April 4th will be the first time I'm actually going to talk about this in a formal setting. I will be presenting in a workshop at the Kenya Christian Fellowship Women's Conference. So ladies, you are very much welcome to tune in on that day. And also,
they need to fill that.
They need to feel that. And then secondly, I'm talking to a professor friend of mine who is already suggesting that I present this. I think there's a conference coming up in September. So if it becomes something big, and I believe it will, I plan to present it. This is information even our own government can use. Can you imagine?
I know.
The ambassador. This is who we are here. This is how, so the people we are dealing with. Yeah.
So once you analyze it, are you going to now start having solutions? And what are the solutions?
Right now,
or how are you going to tackle it?
Right now, even I listened to somebody presenting yesterday in another forum that's doing multidisciplinary research, and that's actually Dr. Karogi's son.
Yes, that guy has been flying, man.
And I liked his presentation a lot, and I think one of the things I heard him say is that the first step is to do that self-analysis. And then, we can't do all the steps in one sitting. When the results come back and we analyze them, then we see these are the issues. Then at that level, we say, okay, now these are the issues.
So this is a national thing, basically.
It's not just for people in North Carolina. And also, Kenyan men, please support this. This is not just for women.
Wanaume.
So, brothers, fathers, uncles, friends that are listening to this. We need your input.
Yes.
So that this is going to give a lot of weight to the data that we get.
Yes.
So, and
actually, men participating will be great.
Yes.
Yeah, so men, please.
And my friend Sam here is going to make sure that he reaches out to our Kenyan men. They are very supportive in the most part.
Yes,
and those that I know, of course, I don't know everybody, but I would love for them to participate.
Yes.
And there's, you know, the good thing that with a survey like this, it's anonymous.
Yes.
But as a group, it will really reveal. Like, for example, one of the questions, you know, your income. And so we can say, oh, yeah, here in the diaspora, this is the average income of a Kenyan. Because we send a lot of money to Kenya.
Oh, we do.
We do. I think more than we live on.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. Well, I used to send a lot, but not anymore.
So that's one of the things I would love to see is, you know, buy-in, a lot of participation so that we make this not just, oh, this is only 1% of the people in diaspora. How about 50% or even 20% of the people responded?
So tell me, once we gather and maybe we notice that this is what we should do, are there specific things that you think can save a man who is 55 and maybe just a middle class income earner, maybe under $60,000, and they're trying to retire? At least I hear Ramsey once mentioned you need at least 2 million at some point.
No, you don't need 2 million.
Yeah, you don't,
I don't think you need 2 million. Most of us will never have 2 million.
Okay,
you know, as an elementary school teacher, obviously my income is not high.
Sometimes Dave is scary.
But you know, you can tune into a Dave Ramsey talk show and find him interviewing a millionaire.
Yes.
You can also tune into Dave Ramsey and find him interviewing a single mom.
And a plumber. One day he was talking to a plumber who was $2 million rich.
So so but I think your question was asking, are you asking if this person is almost 55 but they never planned before?
Yeah, they never planned. Maybe they're like, wow, I'll be 60 in 4 years.
Yeah, what should I do now?
Oh my God, what am I gonna do?
That's a good question. What I can say is that it's just like when you go to the doctor today and the doctor diagnoses you with an illness. Do you say, oh yeah, I'm too far gone, I'm just gonna
let me die?
Or do you say, hey, what kind of medication can I get? Even
that's a good answer.
So it's the same way.
That's
if you are
awesome
late,
answer.
then you say, okay, what do people who are too late in the stage do? And then you look for those solutions.
Wow. Wow.
And so we plan, and whether you are staying here, like I said, or going back to Kenya, step one, check yourself. Where am I?
Yeah. So this episode mostly is to ask you to fill that survey. Please. Yeah. We fill many surveys. Just 2 days ago, I filled a survey for Amazon because I'm a frequent buyer. You know, all my equipment is either Amazon.com or B&H. So they'll approach me and tell me to fill a survey, and then they'll give me a little gift card. We don't have a gift card for you guys. We are not big like Amazon. So please just...
But the gift is that self-assessment. Our gift to you is your own self-assessment right there. And if you are married, encourage your spouse to fill that survey. It's individual, it's not per family.
Okay.
And if you have a friend, like Sam has a lot of friends, you say, you know what, I did a self-analysis. You do yours. You do yours and see where you are. Where are you here in this spectrum? And see what happens. So
because I'm not in a good place personally. You telling me about this, actually this program itself is really making me...
And you know what hurts is when I look back, I was lucky enough to start working when I was 25 years old. And I tell this story, and I'm telling it on YouTube, but it's going to help someone, the young people. This is now for you. This survey is not just for us older people. So I worked in a job, and those days I really didn't know much about and didn't care if when someone talked about retirement, it's like that is 100 years from now.
Yes, yes.
But where I worked, they were doing the retirement, like an equivalent of a 401k.
Okay.
And I put something small in there.
Okay.
Then when I left that job many years ago,
Yes, yes.
I could not add to that account anymore, but I just left it. I have tried to save money on other. Do you know that because of the power of
compounding,
that's my highest.
Wow.
And it just sits there.
It sits there.
So because how old was I? I was 25.
Yes.
And it just sits there, and every year just growing. It grows.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this to help somebody young who's saying, oh, this is too far for me. You put something little and you don't have to do much.
Okay.
It works. Mutual funds work. 401ks work.
How about things like real estate?
Now, real estate, if I'm going by what Dave Ramsey teaches, and I really do,
okay,
it's not really up to step 7.
Okay.
If you know Dave Ramsey, he has the 7 steps.
Yes, he has. And before you get to that step 7, my goodness.
So a lot of us, we are in debt, but we want to get into real estate in more debt. So when things like when the housing market went down way back in 2008, I know some people who lost, they lost not just their personal homes, but the houses that they had invested in.
Yeah.
Because those were on loan, they were on mortgage.
They were on mortgage.
So, I'm going to say what he advises, it's best to wait until you are on that step 7. To start buying real estate. I know not many people are proponents of that, but I am.
Yeah, because, there are many mentors. For example, Robert Kiyosaki is the opposite.
Yeah.
He tells us, hey, debt is your friend as long as it's making you money, So
but is it making you? But that's the thing.
The question is it making you money? Yes.
So you have to calculate the return. Talking about is it making you money? One of the things we in the diaspora love to do, we love to go home, not just buy land, but build. Especially if we are from Western Kenya or Nyanza, you have a home, you have a house back home that you sleep in once every 2 years. How much money did you spend building that? And what is the return on investment?
Yes. And also there are so many other things that happen in between. Your neighbor has decided to go a meter closer to your house and you have to pay a lawyer.
Yeah.
Then the chief there and the county knows you're in America.
Yes.
And they start saying, hey, you're not paying taxes.
Yes.
And before you know it, someone, conflict. And you have many pieces with different issues. And you realize the money you're supposed to be gaining from this is all leaking out.
It's leaking out.
Yeah.
And so always, I've learned to calculate what is the return on investment.
Numbers.
You have to do the numbers.
The ROI, they call it ROI.
Another problem is this long distance landlord. If you have, like some people have own homes or houses in Kenya, and maybe it helps their mother. That's the income their mother is getting. That is good, especially if it's all paid for.
Yes.
But if it's something somebody else is running for you, you go to look at. I know someone, we went to look at her rental property. It was a mess.
Oh Lord.
It was trash.
It will take so much money to bring it back.
Or even that personal house you have at home, you have to employ someone to live there to maintain
it.
So there's so many issues, underlying things that you have to consider.
Very true.
Also, we like to send money for our houses to be built. Most of the time,
it leaks out.
Whether it is to friends or relatives or contractors, because you are not there personally. So we have a lot of aspects of this whole thing to look at. But if we are organized, and that is where you are asking me, what am I going to do with the results? Even last time, when we were at the food truck, I met Mercy Kibe.
Yeah, Mercy Kibe.
I'm going to put in a word on her behalf. They have a construction company.
They do, actually, they do.
But those are the kind of people
that lady is aggressive. She was trying to buy land from my sister and I.
Yeah.
And she was on us.
She was on you.
But
what I was going to say with contractors, people don't know who a good contractor is. So when we come together now, we say, okay, now this whole retirement process piece, who is the financial person that's going to teach people? Okay,
Yes.
there is the education aspect. Okay, who is the business person that's going to teach people about small business? Because we like to run businesses. We don't even know that the small business classes offered free.
Wow.
They are.
I need to attend that.
That the educational aspect, that's where some of us come in. We bring people to teach. Okay, there's the business aspect. I know, for example, Sophie Mukua. Very business savvy. We bring now, we start having dialogue every time we bring a piece of, because we know some of us, we want to retire and we want to do a business and retire. Now, you know, Sophie comes in, she knows her
I just
ties.
came from Sophie's.
She comes in with her ties with the Kenya government and all that, and brings in this information. We bring in people, contractors. Okay, how do I build a house in Kenya? Where do I get a good contractor? We bring that person in. So it's going to be the education. Now the emotional aspect.
So from here on, it will be, the next thing will be now the specific
issues that we are, you know,
how we can tackle this.
If we are facing emotional issues, we have so many counselors in our community. We bring that. If it's an information issue, we look for the person who has that information and we educate ourselves and we become more savvy.
So another, maybe one of the last questions. I've been, you know, I read everything. I consume. And I've realized that, I don't know if it's by design, but a lot of returns, even on the S&P 500 companies, they're usually, if it's on the low, it's usually around 6.8, and then if it's on the high, it's usually around 12. Is it by design? Is it possible to hit something like a 15-20% to bail us out?
So it depends. Like for me, I don't do single stocks. Because my financial counselor once again says
not to diversify.
Diversify and go more for the mutual funds. So when you have a group of mutual funds, when you analyze your statement, you'll realize that there are some which go really high, and some which are low. So it averages. So usually it averages to about 10%. And that's not bad, especially, and you know, when you're investing, especially in mutual funds and stocks, it's a long-term thing.
And it's amazing, it's averaged that way even during First World War, during Vietnam War, during Second World War.
And so I'm not, you know, I'm not the stocks and mutual funds person. I just put my money there and I watch it. So I'm not the right kind of person to ask specific questions about stocks, but I know that most of the time when you have a good financial planner helping you, they'll help you choose the right
and through your husband, there's that Dave Ramsey option. Is it still a 10% kind of a thing, 12%?
You know, Dave Ramsey doesn't do stocks either. He just teaches you where to go. And they have these people, they call them the Smart Vesta Pros. And so normally when someone asks him a question about that, he will refer them to, you know, they have, if you go like, for example, to the Dave Ramsey website, they will refer you to put in.
They're not the ones investing for you.
They don't.
I got
you know, also, you know, investments are risky, so everyone has, you know, a hands off. Like,
everyone is trying and make your own. Don't blame me later.
Don't blame me later.
Because it's someone's life.
It's your money, so you have to know what. But what he says is that you have to know what you're doing. You have to. But you know, the key is, Sam. We make a lot of money.
We do,
and we work many hours. So have a plan. How are you going to have a plan? Take a self-assessment. Where am I? And if you don't like what you're doing, a lot, you know, a friend of mine, I was asking her, could she send this survey out? And she's like, oh, you know, a lot of Kenyans are struggling financially, so they will not want to fill this. Like, that is the reason why they do.
That's the reason why they need to.
Yeah, so
that way they can have a plan of action.
So take a self-analysis.
Okay.
Fill that survey out. It will start your thinking juices flowing. Give it to your friend, give it to your neighbor, give it to your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever that's Kenyan. And then after that self-analysis, start asking yourself, what do I really know? And also when we come out with the results of this study, we are going to share them. I'm sure Sam is going to be back and will say, what did you find?
Yes, yes.
And then we'll say, these are the issues we found.
Yes.
Okay, what are we going to do about them? Okay, now this is now step 2. We start looking for the options.
Yes, the options.
And and the resources. And here in the United States, there are plenty.
There are plenty.
You just have to go looking for them.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So
is your husband baking? I smell something.
My husband is a very good chef. That I can brag about. So,
I want to be a good husband, man.
So
sometimes I feel weird cooking around, and my girl is. I went to visit my girl, and I'm trying to cook there, and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? So it makes me feel
trial
comfortable.
And error. The more mistakes you make, the better you get.
Actually, I was like, is it manly enough? My girl is there, and I'm.
Oh yes, that is.
We need to make that a topic one of these days.
We need to make as a topic, because you know what? That is servant leadership.
Yeah.
When you are a husband, Sam, and you serve your wife, maybe out of the space of 7 days, and you do something like my husband is doing now. Yeah. The rest of the 6 days, I have absolutely no problem doing all the work.
Yes. But you see, you're a wise woman.
What do you mean?
I hope our women will be wise too, for those of us who are not married. And I hope those who are married, they have wise women, because it could be another way. A husband could do the helping so much until the wife decides, no, I'll take the back seat.
That is not, you know, sometimes, we call it a labor of love. Okay. And also in this, nowadays it's not like this work is the husband's work and this is the wife's work. Of course, there are things which obviously in the house I am the one who does. So do you share responsibilities, even finances, like what you're talking about? You do it together? If you are a couple, there's no way you can be successful. You have to work together. And one thing I can really... Not necessarily maybe have one account. Oh, yes, but you do have one account. We have so that's fundamental. That's important. That is, if you want to be successful, there are a lot of other things that we can also share off camera that are a little bit on the personal side. Yes. But I just wanted us to brush on it. Yes. To finish in a good way. It is very, very imperative if you are a couple that you work as one. As we say in Swahili, umoja ni nguvu. Umoja ni nguvu. Yes. And when you are one, it's like you are on a honeymoon. Wow. All your life, because there are no secrets between you. You are making one decision. So sometimes you make stupid ones, but you did it together. So there's no I was about to mention that. I had somewhere that, you do things together. That way, if you make a mistake, there's no finger pointing. You're like, ooh, what did we do? Not what did you do? Yes. Yeah. So if I'm a husband and then or your husband decides to do something alone, it fails. He'll be alone when it fails. He'll be like, and then he'll be like, blaming game. But thank you so much. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching Banana Land Media. Hiyo jina lazima ishike kwa akili zenyu. Banana Land Media. So and this is Beatrice Agingu. And thank you so much, Beatrice. Thank you. That is good. Actually, that one really touches me. And if it touches me, and I'm not so bad off, I think it touches many people, especially even younger guys than me. Yes. Yes. And we'll be back again, right? Yes, we will, because we are going to talk about the results. Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, or actually watching. I know this video, maybe you're watching bit by bit. My viewers usually watch 10 minutes today, 10 minutes when they have time. But according to statistics, most people watch
my videos all the way.
Okay.
Yeah, but kind of today they watch this until 15 minutes, then they do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people will view and people will do the survey, and the link is down here.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Na tumetoka.